Okay, we're back here for some more Eldrazi Aggro. Quick look at the list. We'll start queuing up here. We'll view the list again this way. It's always weird how this very high-tech software works. My other video I did a deck tech, kind of walking through why it works and why my specific choices, but we're leaning towards aggro. We've won 6 games in a row. We beat some kind of less popular decks. We haven't seen... I guess one of them was technically a Nadu deck, but it was Hammer. And we've been facing mostly weird decks, but have had a very good win rate versus the Frog, Demure Frog control decks. We beat a blue-red control deck pretty handedly. Hopefully we get paired in quickly, but we're leaning heavily on these powerful must-answer 3-drops, Eldrazi Linebreaker, and Glaring Fleshraker. And then the supporting cast of our 2-drops calls a command, and then we have our 7-drops to support Uggin's Labyrinth, the new double colorless generating land. That's what makes this deck work with Eldrazi Temple. Because playing these on 2 and 3 and 4 is pretty middling, but turn 1 this, turn 2 this. Although we even had a game where we got to turn 1 our 3-drop into turn 2 3-drop and 2-drop. We are on the play again, always great for an aggressive deck. Well, we're a 7-drop away from turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, which is great. We can cast a turn 2 Fleshraker. Obviously, I'd rather have a 2-drop than this mountain. It's close, but I think we're going to keep it. Again, not knowing the opponent, Cavernous Souls is good against a lot of decks. And game 1, they don't play Consign. Oh, so they have a Devourer Destiny, so we're going to know exactly what they're on soon. It is likely a Tron list, the Breach list, or just there is kind of the green-red Eldrazi list. I've faced them all. I would much rather it be the Tron list than anything. The green-red Eldrazi one is pretty difficult for us to beat. The Breach one we can definitely get under, but their fast hands are hard for us to beat. It looks to be just the green-red one, so the harder one of the matchups. The reason being this card is obviously very good against us, and then we don't have the curve that they have. Our curve stops at 4 essentially. We do obviously have the 7-drops, but all his dust is pretty much useless. Devourer of Destiny is also pretty much useless, and then our Null Drifters are fine, but that's nothing compared to, Emrakul the Promised End, and likely playing the Ullamogs, some manner of 10-minute Ullamogs. This is a decent draw. Double Fleshraker will burn them down quick, and even if they do mess with our lands or play or ramp, like this might be able to do it. Sorry if that messes with the mic. I had an itch underneath the mic, underneath my headset there. Thought-Knot Seer is decent. They probably don't have a lot of ways to... Oh, main deck Blood Moon. That's interesting. What do they choose? They got a Utopia Sprawl. Very interesting build. I haven't seen this before. Ooh. Hard choices here. Thought-Knot likely takes a good play. If they took the Sprawl, it seems they want to take a turn off to cast Sprawl on this. Hard to say. And it's honestly hard to say, like, another Fleshraker is just so good. We'd be one mana off of double spelling. I think we're going to go with the Fleshraker because it makes our next turn insane. I haven't done all the math. Suffice to say, it gets crazy faster than you think. But we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We definitely won't have enough mana to cast them all. Well, each one is 3 triggers because they each get you 2 tokens and then itself. So 3, 6, 9 damage right here. And then this guy's got to swing for lethal. So interesting. Yeah, well, that does put a damper on our relationship, doesn't it? The thing that really sucks about One Ring is it also means we can't take cards from them. So it really makes this turn useless. What do I want to play out? I do think I want to play something. Because if they're going to take this, if they might hit our Eldrazi Temple and like really slow us down next turn, I want to have a couple more tokens out there to keep us going. So I'm going to go ahead and just... Did I miss... I forgot to do a land drop last turn? Sorry. I got so distracted deciding what to play last turn. It's turn 4, and I definitely should have played land last turn, so... Big mistake on my part there. Hopefully it doesn't end up costing us the game. It won't let me, like, put the Thought Knot thing onto the stack, but... That's so funny. I can't believe I forgot to play land. Luckily, having double Fleshraker, it shouldn't have too much of a bearing on this game. If they don't have a One Ring here, we should be able to kill them. We don't have a way to draw a card. So in a way, we did waste some triggers, but like I said, I wanted to get the spawn tokens out, and now we can cast anything in our deck for sure. What are they going to do? I mean, they have 10 cards in hand. Hopefully they're going to do something here. What? I can't believe I missed land drop. Okay, Talisman. They were trying to cast Talisman off of one temple. It's not Ugin's Lab. And now they're going to Utopia Sprawl, and then what? Another Talisman, maybe? Nope. Making a Sowing Mycospawn. Go get a land. Maybe. What are they casting? Oh, wow. Shoot. Our line was really bad into that, obviously. Well, that feels bad. Could take their best card. 2, 4, 6, 8. They're gonna have Ugin mana next turn. I think I want to try to just get them dead as fast as possible. And obviously this here puts us within lethal next turn. If they have the 10-minute Ugin that can exile 2 creatures, then we're kind of screwed. Although we could draw another Line Breaker. We're close to even being able to draw a Fleshraker and cast the Thought Knot. But we're not quite there. Interesting. I mean, the One Ring will kill them if they don't. I'm trying to think of what their best play is here. Maybe Emrakul. If they Emrakul, they're gonna get to flash us back and kill our dudes. Yeah. Thing is, they don't... I guess they're going to 1 from this ring if they don't activate it, so... I mean, the worst they can do at this point is cast Thought Knot and, like... Can you decline to take something? You choose. No. I got something else cooking over here. 1, 2, 3. We'll see what we draw. Hopefully it's not like Kozilek's Command. Okay, yeah. A useless land. So... Do they cast Thought Knot? Probably not. They just pass our turn. They essentially just gave us an extra draw. Woohoo. What do we want to draw? I don't know. Null Drifter, maybe? Into good cards. We're so close. So if I had Line Breaker instead, Line Breaker would have lived. Then I could Flash Breaker after. I don't know. Messed up into this one ring. If I'd played the Thought Knots here when I could have taken it. So, a lot of mistakes made this game. Probably got to break our 6-game winning streak. Opponent really tanking here. Feels pretty easy though to just pass the turn. I don't think you want to play any of our lands. I guess you could play Courtyard and choose some other creature or something, but I don't need colors. And any land you play makes it more likely that I play double spells. He's gonna cast a Thought Knot. It feels like. Or is he on his side trying to cast something? There we go. We figured it out. Passed the turn. He cracked the code, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If only I had a 7-drop. This hits for 13. I'm so close. So close. So we're gonna play Thought Knot because Fleshraker obviously sets us up to where our next spell would basically be lethal, but this is gonna put them to 1 anyway. Of course, if I Thought Knot and he plays another ring, well, this will stop him from playing another ring. That's the whole point. My best bet is to survive a turn and draw something. I mean, I do play 10 2-drops in this deck, and a lot more 3-drops. And I'm gonna actually play my land this turn, I promise. I'm waiting for Loris. It's gonna be one of those games where my opponent uses a lot of clock. I mean, I've used some too, but that's because I'm over here making mistakes. Okay. That's fine. It's weird that you want to draw before. I guess that tells me you didn't really have anything in your hand and thought I would have taken K command, I guess. Oh. You really didn't have anything in your hand. I guess we take the Rumble. The power has no targets against us. At this point, we're pretty much on let him die to his own ring. Rumble could dig for another ring. So, pass the turn. I'm going to take 13 in the air, but luckily he doesn't have Annihilator. He goes to 1. He's dead unless he finds a ring. He draws for a ring. And we wait very impatiently. Ooh, is that lethal? Yeah, that's lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. I think you're one short there, bud. Oh, 7. Haha. Well, oh well. Figured it out. You sack the spawn. Keswick Wolf Run. Did he have that in his hand and I just didn't pay attention? He did. Oh, I should have paid attention. My bad. Well, we're dead anyway. You can't use colorless. Why do we keep tapping this for Eldrazi? This only casts Eldrazi spells, Eldrazi abilities. Why do you keep trying to do other things with it? Figure it out here. Let's see if maybe my opponent forgets this. I don't know. Be funny if they did put me to 1, but I assume they figured it out, and we lose here for exactly lethal. Ooh, that was close. Okay, so we lost that game because I forgot a land drop, because if not, I could have Fleshrakered into Thought Knot, and he would have died. So, would have had our winning streak had I not made that mistake. No Elemental Blast is useless. Dismember is... It does hit Mycospawn, but I think all we really want are these Battle Mages. We can hit their stuff. We're going to take out some All Is Dust because they obviously are very ineffective against this deck. Otherwise, that's about it. I'm maybe we want to dismember. I don't know. 9 is already kind of low for our Ugins lab. You really want 10. I kind of like being as low to the ground as possible and having as many threats as possible. A misplay cost us the game. It is what it is. You gotta learn from your mistakes. But, you know, of course that happens while I'm recording. That's so funny. I was just like, wait a minute, it's turn 4. Why do I only have 3 lands? I like this curve. Like, I like the creatures I have. If one of these was an Ugins Labyrinth. Eldrazi Temple, we'd snap keep. I'm tempted to. Devourer can obviously dig for it. The problem is we don't see it till our turn 2. So we might be able to turn 2 a Fleshraker into turn 3 Linebreaker plus hit the Herald. Something like that would be great. But there's no guarantee. If we just play this turn 2 into this turn 3, turn 4 is just too slow. Same time, we have a lot of mulligans that get worse. We'll take a... I'll take a mulligan. Yeah, it got worse. Because now... I guess we're keeping... Now I lose this, and I don't have a Fleshraker because I took the mulligan. Oh well. Life goes on. So we might end up losing this. It's possible, but going to 5 just gets predominantly worse because we're against someone where we really need like a 2 and a 3 drop plus 2 good lands. The chances that we get it, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? Double Linebreaker is, you know, nothing to scoff at. It does get wacky pretty quick, but I think I'm probably locked into escape battle maging off this sprawl next turn. We'll buff this to swing for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total. Which isn't great. Well, I don't know. If I go double Linebreaker, they both swing for 5, right? So I get 10 damage. This does 7 damage, but it slows them down. It's probably worth taking that slower turn. Also depends where our draw is. Well, what are they taking? The Sprawl? A double Sprawl? I'm taking the Wolf Run. Took the Sprawl. Had another Forest, so they're probably going to play the Sprawl. I think I'm just going to go ahead and learn from our mistakes last game. The one thing here is I actually want to buff up the Seer because he can just block it and not take 6, whereas if I buff this up, it is trample. Okay, wow, pretty land heavy hand. Glad I didn't use the Wayscape Battle Mage here. Again, I definitely don't want to buff the Thought Knot because he can just chump block, and right now he doesn't need that token for anything else, so this guarantees we're getting in more damage. Because if I buff this and he blocks it, he takes 3 from this. If he blocks this, even with trample, he's still taking 4, so I got in more damage by not swinging with the Thought Knot, although that seems counterintuitive. We're going to lead into another Linebreaker and hope to swing for lethal. Well, it will be lethal, assuming he doesn't remove one. He kicked this, so he's going to take our temple for sure. Well, now we need to draw any land. Even another Gemstone Cavern. Obviously, I don't want that, but any land for lethal-ish, he'll have a blocker. That can absorb some. Hate this card. It's very good against us. I'd like to play it, but it just doesn't actually fit into this aggressive shell well. That is about the worst. Not the worst draw. We have worse for sure. It's worth playing it out. It gives us a bigger buff on this. He's likely going to block the line breaker with the Sowing Micro Spawn, and the token will get in front of the Thought Knot, but we know that all he has is 3 lands. So we're hoping that he doesn't draw gas. And if we draw 1 land, we can kill him next turn still. Because, I mean, he still took 3 here. Another line breaker is lethal for sure. I mean, we almost have lethal as it is. Where we have 6 damage on the board. He has no board. Only draw lands. Only draw lands. If we don't draw anything. Oh, his 1 card might be a Kozilek's Command if he's passing the turn without casting it. It's taking a long time. We're now up 4 minutes on clock. Oh, man. Just can't draw those lands, huh? Sure, we'll copy that other mimic. I don't care. So I'm going to swing. If he makes tokens to block, that's fine. He's going to scry. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. No. Okay. Feels bad. We really were so close to winning here. But, yeah. So he drew that. It's annoying that the way Boseiju is worded, you cannot go get a waste, because a waste, although it is a basic land, it is not a basic land type, which is just, it's just counterintuitive. One of those many things where it's like, come on, Watsy. Oh, he can't get Kozilek's Return, but now he has it in the graveyard, which is really bad for us. I assume he's gonna get Worldbreaker? Yeah. So he gets to cast Worldbreaker, flash back Kozilek's Return, wipe our board, and have a giant blocker that we cannot get through with our line breaker, so, as well as exile land. That pretty much seals the game in his favor. We just needed a land. Any of those turns before, 3 turns, we would have been fine. We drew mimics for 2 turns there. I don't know. That's worth. It's like if I drew 1 land, this would be worth at least playing out to see. But I can still draw an Eldrazi Temple and swing back after he swings, I guess. So we'll see if we can surprise him with a win here. But we pretty much have to draw. I guess we have to draw Lab or Temple. We luckily have a 7-drop sitting in our hand doing nothing, so we have potential. But it looks like he's playing something else, which is bad for us, obviously. Yikes. Well, the worst he's going to do is pass a turn and give us another draw, but he has a big blocker. So very unlikely. The Flash Striker would be great if we had lands. Yeah, I don't think we really have an out. Now, even if we draw the Eldrazi Temple, the best we can do is play something and use it to chump block this. Wow. No dice. Ways off. Okay, well, after going 6-0, we went 0-2 in that one. Let's finish out the league, see if we can finish 4-1 at least. It does feel bad. You know, we lost game 1 because I passed a turn without playing a land, and game 2 we lost because I mulliganed an iffy hand into a more iffy hand. Not guaranteed, but that other hand was better. I was trying to just be more aggressive, and instead we became more ineffective in that mull. But against Clever Cakes, Mimic into Line Breaker is a decent line. On the play, it's okay on curve, but I don't really want to just play on curve. We'll keep this. It's actually between this and All Is Dust. Wastegate Battle Mage is obviously like great when it is, but I don't have the means to get any of my kicker in my hand. I probably want to get the basic mountain with this. My only other option are wastes. And All Is Dust could actually come and play if I draw a Nugan's Lab or in the late game. So we're going to lead on Mimic because when you play Herald after Mimic, it gets to swing for 3. I don't know why it grayed out like that, but you know, MTGO doing MTGO things. They mold to 6 as well. Basic Forest, Halfling, probably Yawgmoth. Do we want to kill it, guys? Do we kill the bird? I can call a command where X is 1, exile that thing, and scry 1 draw, or make a Eldrazi spawn. Pass it, please. It's a decent draw. Not decent draw. It's not the worst draw though. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna take the draw and exile a creature. Don't really want another one. Oh look, I got another. Well, another key command's never bad. Especially because our value of X goes up. But this next turn, I'm hoping... I want to draw one of my 3-drops is really what I want right now. I'll take any 3-drop. Oakish Boardmasters, yeah. That's another reason to bottom the Mimic. Of course, if I had played this, it would have been out of the range of it, so... just a bait for that. I think... because I might have a Besaju, I'm going to get the waste for now. Awkward. I do think we're just going to go ahead and line breaker it up. Get our linebacker in play here. Next turn I get to like buff him. He'll get, you know, X is 2. He'll become a 4/4. We'll see what we draw as far as... not a great place, but if I drew a Flesh Raker, this hand would be able to get through this deck. Yeah, our issue against this deck quickly becomes that like they have lots of little blockers, so, and lots of removal. Interesting he didn't swing there. It's not like he could block another line breaker effectively. Wow, speaking of which, I think it's right to do. Let's run it back, but we're going to kill the Grist here. This just making blockers for days and having ways to remove my stuff is bad. He did not block. I wonder if he has Nantuko, and he's got to put it on here. People like to make lots of Bowmasters. Young Wolves. Good blockers at this point. Not really of trample, but this does make All Is Dust cheaper, which is nice. But we're still at 4 mana. I would be fine with a Temple or an Nugan's Lab. I'd be great with a Flesh Raker. Thanaseer, maybe. It's unlikely their last card is a great one, but it's possible. I think we don't want to trigger this with Kozilek's Command. And it unfortunately can't exile multiple creatures. But I can make 3 tokens. I think we're just gonna do this for now. Yeah, we're gonna do this for now. I'll hold this up. 1, 2, 3. I can do it where X is 1. Exile Yawgmoth. It's unlikely. I mean, if he has Yawgmoth, it's not going to stop it either way. But we're close to killing him here. And now, what is he doing? Yeah. So we're not taking the draw because I don't want to trigger his Bowmaster, so we'll just exile one of those, I guess. Doesn't make much difference to me, but this is lethal unless he has. I mean, he could like Chord of Calling in response. Oakish Bowmasters in response. Well, doubly glad that I did not. He's got a Oakish Bowmasters, his own wolf. Okay. Still make our dudes, because that's first on the list. Not first, but it goes in order of things, and so the spell fizzles after it's already made the tokens or scry and draw, and then it fizzles even if someone takes away some of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 6 blocking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 9/4. So 9/4. He can definitely absorb enough not to die. Next turn, I could just cast all his dust. Yeah, I think I'd go ahead and attack here, even if he trades a bunch for it. He's taking some amount of damage, and I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can all his dust and still swing for 3 at least next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking 4, yeah. The one wolf is going to come back. The other is actually dead. The Bowmaster's trick did help him for sure. Guess there's a world in which we want to keep up command on 1 in case we want to get rid of this wolf. But what are we playing here? Another Grist? Exile target player's graveyard. That's fine. So I'll double check my math once we get to my turn, but I think all his dust is lethal. He has no cards in hand. This won't come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Except I only need 6. I cast this. I swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. Opponent concedes. Transfer. Is Transfer worth it here? That's a good question. Most of his deck costs 3 or less. It will slow him down more than me. But it's such a grindy deck full of removal, I don't know that I want to have cards that aren't threats. I mean, Hearst is kind of a no-brainer. Can stop Undyings, and it's a threat. No Elemental Blast hits Grist. I don't know if it hits a lot else. But we want Dismembers, and I think I want the Caverns. I'm going to keep the Mountain again because I said they likely play Boseiju. We're not going to expect a Moon of any sort out of them. The Battle Mages are better than Mimics on average because of, what's it called? The Orcish Bowmasters. I'm cutting these because they can survive them, and also they're blue. The kicker for bouncing a creature a lot of times will just kill their tokens, is usually what we're using it for. Matter Reshaper is actually pretty decent in this matchup, but it's never better than our other 3 drops. Thought-Knot Seer is less good. He often will have a way to remove it, and it's a little clunky. Yeah, I think I need to keep my 2 drops, so I'm cutting the Matter Reshaper. Let's see if we can have a great hand here and get this game done. Our opponents actually played faster than us, which is great. It's not often that happens to me. I'm gonna keep. I'm probably gonna exile the Thought Knot. It's close. But if I do Vista and I don't draw another land, I'll be up a creek. I want to play these 3 drops. Obviously I could mulligan there, but these are like my 3 best cards. Linebreaker, Fleshbreaker, and Command, and having the 3 different cards means I get to pick. Awkward turtle, can't use it. No turn 1 play is a bummer, but they already have a blocker. Most of my true drops weren't going to be getting any damage in. I would love an It that Herald's there, obviously, to set up for a better Fleshraker, Linebreaker line. Oh, Birthing Ritual. Yep, that's right. They playing that. I did bring my Battle Mages in, but right? Yeah. Put X value onto the battlefield. Trinisphere wouldn't interact with that. Null Brass wouldn't interact with anything, so I still think our sideboarding is correct so far. I forgot that they played that card. Well, go ahead and get a basic waste. Again, I'm holding on to the lab in hopes that I could use it for double mana at some point. Do I want a line breaker here? Not really. So I'm going to go Fleshraker and hope he doesn't have removal. That's a weird hope to have. He currently only has basic forest mana though, so he obviously was leaning on Birthing Ritual this game, and it's a very powerful card, so that's fair. His deck is very good with it out. I'm trying to think of creature-based removal. He might have the creature that makes both players sack a creature. Likely. I think it's a 3-drop. But if we get to untap the Fleshraker, we're set up to kind of go from here. Pretty confident we can win from that spot. If he misses land drop, even with the ritual going. If he turns the Bowmasters into a 3-drop, then we're at risk of dying to Yawgmoth at any end step. So we don't have a lot of time, but Fleshraker into Linebreaker with a K command in hand is very effective at killing people fast. I really just want to actually draw a 7-drop because I want this Kozilek command to get big fast because you can chain Kozilek commands. Nope, he had a black mana. That's not good. 2 black mana. So is this already Yawg? Chord Calling for 3. That feels strange. Geralf's Messenger. Okay. I'll get rid of my sideboard, sorry. Because now he can ritual the messenger into it. Well, he's setting himself up for a win as fast as possible. I think that makes sense. It's a little confusing to not, like, I'm not going to kill him this turn. I don't think there's any draw that can do all 17 damage. And so, why not just wait to chord for Yawg? My only answer is he might be holding another chord. And so, his point was just to do as much as he could this turn, because next turn I'm dead. I mean, he's up to 19 now. The Prosperous Innkeeper putting in work there. So, might be in a bad place here. Well, we got our 7-drop. We can K command for 1, 2, 3. For X is 3 is not quite enough. If X is 5, it's worth it to try to just go for chain K commands because you can scry 5 to draw into another one. And you do 6 damage when X is 5, and the next K command would do 5 damage, and so it adds up fast. But I think we go for Linebreaker. They only have the 1 blocker. We can double Linebreaker because we get the token off of this one. they'll buff themselves and swing. So we'll put them. We'll be in a really good position to win next turn. But again, we might just be super dead. And that's where, both decks are doing their thing. They just got to do their thing a little faster. This one, that one. It is funny we forced them to block here. Like we're pretty close. They're going to 1, so if they have that other chord, we are dead. But man, we did pretty good here. Don't think there's any better way we could have lined that up. And here you're seeing the power of these 3 drops, like why these are so good, and they both feed each other. Untapping with a Fleshraker, you could like if they hadn't gained, what did they gain? 2 life. They were at 17. They ended at 19. So if they hadn't played this card specifically and gained life, we would have won just now. And that's why untapping with a Fleshraker is so powerful in Modern. In this deck, at least. This build. And that's the whole point of this build, is to maximize these cards. I'm not looking to mid-range people out. Okay, so he's hoping to hit Yawg. Wish I could look at your cards. Yawgmoth. No Yawgmoth, please. What's gonna happen? Seems like it's taking a while, so that seems less likely that it's a Yawgmoth line. What does he have? Another Oakish Bowmasters, maybe? Another Innkeeper. There's no reason for him to hold on to anything. I don't have enough mana to react. Oh. It is Yawgmoth. Why did that take so long? He goes up to 2, so he can pay the 1 life. And then... does he need 2 Undying Creatures? Is that how it works? Does he not have infinite? Pay 1 life, sack a creature, put it on another creature. So he pays a life, he sacks a token, minus here. He pays a life, he sacks this, puts the minus there. Oh, he doesn't have infinite. In my head I just had it that all he needed was Yawgmoth and a Young Wolf, but he needs 2 Young Wolves, or a Young Wolf and the Geralfs, but he had to sack the Geralfs. So he made a mistake by sacking this last turn, because all he got was Bowmasters. He should have just sacked the other Bowmasters, maybe? Right? Or can he go infinite here? No, because he can't pay the life. Okay. Whew, we got there. So yeah. This is not the deck I'm playing. I don't know why it's showing Electo Balance. This is a terrible deck. Don't play that deck. This is the good deck. So, we can go back here to look at it, right? It looks better when we look at the deck. Matter Reshaper didn't really come up. I've had this as a Reality Smasher as well. I'm not sure. Maybe it should be a Dismember. I've seen those main deck, but I'm actually leaning towards just going towards more Battle Mage's main deck, because even as just a 2/2, like having more low mana Eldrazi is beneficial. It gives us more fodder to buff up another Line Breaker, more fodder to get more triggers off of Fleshraker. But I like the idea that this, can put one of these into play for free. I have 19 hits off of Matter Reshaper. I don't think we turn Thought Knots into Matter Reshapers, though. I think the upside of Thought Knot is there, that it's worth playing, and then obviously we have to keep our 7 drops the way they are. I like playing 11. You could go down to 10. You could cut in All Is Dust. So if you're looking to change stuff around, you could change All Is Dust and the Matter Reshaper around. I tried playing Obligators, but they just felt like worse than Reality Smasher most of the time. Obviously there's matchups where they're very powerful, but Reality Smasher is probably what I'd put in over these if you wanted to put something else in. And then the third Vista was kind of whatever. I think I might change it back to a Courtyard. But I want to keep 2 Waste, 1 Mountain as my basics, even though Waste doesn't count as a basic type. It's just a basic land, guys. I think they should change that. I think they should make Waste a basic type. Oh no, they can't do that because that messes with Domain and Leyline Binding and everything, because then people could just add Waste to their deck to get a 6th basic type. That's why they didn't do it, but it's annoying that Boseiju doesn't let you get it. It seems like it should. It should let you get a waste, but I understand that it was worded the way it was, so you can go get your, dual lands. Seagate Wreckage probably isn't worth it. No Elemental Blast didn't do much that league, but at the same time, we're a low sideboarding deck. Like the most we sideboard is when we bring in our Trinispheres. Most of the time we're only switching out a few cards, but I didn't feel like there were a lot we needed. Like, I mean, we gave up 2 games, one of which was a misplay by me, so we could have gone 5-0 possibly. We don't know how that other game would have gone that match, but thanks for sticking around. Let me know your thoughts. You can make fun of me for my misplay there. Have a great day.